deserve to know the truth, and both Lord Carlisle
and the truth was that the suspect was not under surveillance. The truth was that the suspect had...
Do you know that?
Well, you don't know.
That there was truth behind the idea that this was, in fact, a migrant who had done this, and it was untrue.
I was saying, tell the truth, give the public information, and the problem will die down.
Like some
Neither of
pundit on some TV show. You're a member of Parliament.
Neither of you
have to behave in a responsible way. If you give the impression to people that what's being hidden...
Listen up, because I'm about to tell you something that might make your blood boil. Nigel Farage says there's a massive cover-up in the Southport case, and it goes all the way to the top. He's pointing fingers at Keir Starmer, and the accusations are explosive. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. But here's the thing. This isn't just about politics. It's about justice for 3 young girls who lost their lives. It's about a suspect with terrorist links. And it's about you, the British public, who deserve to know the truth. Are you ready to hear it? Nigel Farage's bombshell claim about Southport has sent shockwaves through the political landscape. When the truth about Southport comes out, Starmer is in very big trouble.
When you suggested that, in a video, by the way, that police withheld the truth about the person alleged to be behind this tragedy.
Well, how interesting you say that.
That we don't compromise someone's fair trial.
So this is really interesting.
And allow the families of those who have suffered to hear the truth.
Yeah, and we hide behind this again and again and again.
Why are you saying hide behind?
I'll tell you why. Lord Carlisle, Liberal Democrat peer, but a very senior legal man, along with Jonathan Hall KC, who is the government's terrorism czar.
Farage declared, hinting at a potential cover-up that could shake the Labour Party to its core. But to understand the gravity of this situation, we need to look at the key players involved. At the centre of this storm is Axel Rudakubana, the suspect charged with the horrific Southport killings. But recent revelations have added a sinister twist to an already dark tale. Rudakubana now faces additional charges that paint a chilling picture of his alleged activities. He's accused of producing ricin, a deadly poison classified as a biological weapon, and possessing terrorist materials. These aren't just any materials. We're talking about an Al-Qaeda training manual found in his possession. The timeline of events leading to these new charges is crucial. Merseyside Police Chief Constable Serena Kennedy revealed that searches of Rudakubana's home immediately after the attack uncovered both the ricin and the extremist documents.
If talk of reform and myself is dominating, I'm not there. Look, they are desperately looking for someone to blame for the massive election loss they've just been through. So let's go for Nigel Farage.
They wanted to blame you, or do they want to jump into bed with you? I thought Mr. Jenrick is kind of keen for you, to cuddle up.
Well, he's less rude about me than the other 3. I mean, that is true. No, there would be no deal with them. I wouldn't trust them anyway.
Are you proud of Brexit? Do you feel like it's been an unalloyed success?
Do I think getting back our independence was the right thing to do? You bet your life. Do I think we've handled it well? Good Lord, no.
This raises alarming questions about the suspect's intentions and potential connections to terrorist networks. But here's where it gets even more concerning. The ricin was allegedly produced on or before July 29th, the very day of the Southport attack. This isn't just about a random act of violence anymore. We're potentially looking at a coordinated terrorist plot that was thankfully thwarted before it could reach its full, devastating potential. So what does Nigel Farage know that the public doesn't? His cryptic comments suggest there's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there a connection between the ricin production and the broader Southport case that hasn't been disclosed? And why does Farage believe this information could be so damaging to Keir Starmer? The production of ricin ties into the Southport case in ways we're only beginning to understand. It transforms our perception of the incident from a tragic but isolated event to potentially part of a larger, more sinister plan. The presence of terrorist materials alongside a deadly biological agent paints a picture of a suspect with intentions far beyond what was initially reported. But the ricin revelation is just the tip of the iceberg. As we dig deeper into this unfolding scandal, more questions arise about who knew what and when. The political implications of these revelations are starting to snowball, and Keir Starmer finds himself at the center of a growing storm. The Southport attack has morphed from a tragedy into a potential career ender for Keir Starmer. But why are his rivals so confident they've caught him in a web of deception? The answer may lie in a series of carefully worded statements and what they conspicuously fail to address. As the Labour leader finds himself under increasing scrutiny, the pressure from political opponents is reaching a boiling point. Robert Jenrick's demand for Starmer to urgently explain to the country what he knew about the Southport attack and when he learned it isn't just political posturing. It's a direct challenge to Starmer's integrity and a sign that his rivals smell blood in the water. The accusations of a potential cover-up are gaining traction, with critics suggesting that crucial facts about the Southport case may have been withheld from the public. This isn't just about political point scoring. It's about trust in the government and the justice system. If there's even a hint of truth to these allegations, the fallout could be catastrophic for Starmer and the Labour Party. But what has Starmer actually said about the Southport case? Not much, it seems. His public statements have been notably focused on the victims and their families, with Starmer emphasizing, "My focus is on the families, the victims who are at the heart of this." It's a sentiment that's hard to argue with, but is it also a clever deflection from tougher questions? Other political figures aren't buying it. Kemi Badenoch, another Conservative leadership candidate, has joined the fray, stating that there are serious questions to be asked of the police, the CPS, and also of Keir Starmer's response to the whole situation. Her words suggest that the scrutiny isn't limited to Starmer alone, but extends to the entire handling of the Southport case. The implications, if Nigel Farage's claims are substantiated, could be far-reaching. We're not just talking about a political embarrassment, we're looking at a potential crisis of confidence in the leadership of the opposition and, by extension, in the checks and balances of our political system. So what specific questions has Starmer allegedly been avoiding? Critics want to know exactly when he became aware of the suspect's terrorist connections and the ricin production. They're demanding clarity on why the additional charges were filed so late in the process. And perhaps most crucially, they're asking whether any information was deliberately withheld from the public, and if so, on whose authority. As the January trial approaches, the tension continues to mount. With each passing day, the pressure on Starmer to provide clear, unambiguous answers grows. The British public is watching, and they're not in a forgiving mood. Will Starmer break his silence, or will he continue to weather the storm with carefully crafted statements of sympathy? The clock is ticking, and the truth about Southport may yet claim its biggest political casualty. The Southport case has ripped open deep wounds in British politics, exposing a tangled web of secrecy and potential cover-ups. As the January 20th trial looms ever closer, the public's patience is wearing thin. They're demanding answers, transparency, and accountability from their leaders. Keir Starmer finds himself at the center of this political maelstrom, his career hanging by a thread. The Labour leader's carefully crafted statements of sympathy are no longer enough to quell the growing storm of questions surrounding his involvement. What did he know about the suspect's terrorist connections? When did he learn about the ricin production? The British public wants answers, and they want them now. This isn't just about one politician's career, though. The Southport case has the potential to reshape the entire landscape of British politics. It's forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about how our government handles sensitive information and national security threats. As we inch closer to the trial date, one thing is clear. The truth about Southport, whatever it may be, will have far-reaching consequences for years to come.